and welcome back to SJ Cartier Limited Convos. And today I'm going to give you a little, a 4-day recap of my little journey of the Liverpool parade recently that I visited, and my little visit back to north of England, which I haven't actually been to for a while. So it's been quite adventurous, and not only did I, yes, enjoy the parade, but from my journey, I actually learned a lot while I was there and on the way back. And even now I'm back, I've contemplated it and I've looked at my life and actually my journey, and I'm quite happy in how the weekend actually turned out. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to give you a little 4-day recap of each day of what I'd done and why I'd done each thing for the day and why I went when I went. And then my next videos, you'll get to see the car boot, my first entrance into the car boot, and I'll also share what I actually purchased. So keep an eye out for them coming up this weekend. But today, let's go into what happened when I went to Liverpool Parade, why I was there, and what actually makes me want to give you this video. So first of all, I'll let you know, the parade was on Monday, which was a bank holiday. And as I live in Wiltshire, even though the business is in London, I live in Wiltshire. I actually planned to go there and stay there from Saturday to Tuesday, because as many will know, the hotels in and around Liverpool city centre were out of my price range anyway, and the ones that were available were not even actually hotels, they were people's houses, so they were more like bed sits or one-room stays. So that was a no-no for me. So my next option was what to do, and for me I had the option of either going on the Saturday, which was the day of the game, try and make the game, or if not, go on the Saturday and then go on the Sunday, wake up on the Monday ready for the actual parade. But then, as you may be aware now, I am also a reseller. So instead of just going up north to actually have a fun time, which I did, also made a plan to visit a car boot. Now, unfortunately for me, it was very rainy and wet this weekend, and I've seen that since I've booked my hotel. So I was kind of stressed about what car boot would I get, and have I just paid 2 extra nights for no reason? So I obviously prepared from the Saturday, and in the end, there was a couple car boots that seemed to be open, but where I decided to stay was Stockport. And the reason I decided to stay Stockport, because I believed I was close to Stockport car boot, if possible, and there was other car boots in and around the area like Warrington, Chester, Bolton, as well as the ones in Manchester that were able to get to, whether that was taxi or train in the early morning. So that's what I set out to do. I went on the Saturday, and as I've said to some people many times, and a lot of people that do watch me who already know me must already be fully aware that I do have family and friends around the country. So lucky for me, I went to Stockport, but I know obviously I've got uncles in Manchester. That is very helpful for me to say, yes, even though I go to the car boot, I can also chill on the Sunday and enjoy the football, because it is the last game of the season. And my team are champions. We are champions. We made it 20 times now, equal in Manchester United, and we will be surpassing them next season with these league titles. But to stay on track, I obviously made the plan to go on the Saturday, so I'm able to wake up on the Sunday. On the Saturday, on my way, where I come from, I actually had to go through Birmingham. And at first I was very 50-50 whether I'm going to jump off at Birmingham and spend a bit of time in Birmingham or just go straight to the hotel. I did decide to end up just going straight to the hotel because, as I say, I don't really want to just get off in Birmingham unless there's something for me to really be there for. if there's nothing for me to be there for, I don't see the reason to be there every day or just passing through as I normally would be. So obviously I just continued on my journey. And on that day I got to go and see my uncle in Manchester, went to the hotel, booked in, got to see my uncle, and I had a nice little fun time because the last time I saw my uncle was like the week previously when I went to Birmingham for a funeral. And prior to that, I hadn't seen him for a good few years. So getting to see him now in more of a social, relaxed setting than a funeral was good for me, because I haven't got to see many of my family over the previous like 3-4 years due to where I live and transport. So I do feel secluded, although I've secluded myself to obviously try and progress my lifestyle and my life. But yeah, it was good to see him on the Saturday. Then on the Sunday, I actually got to go to the car boot, and I decided in the end to go to Bolton Car Boot. And as I say, you'll see the shorts and the reels coming up over the next couple days of what I actually got from the car boot, and I'll also do a video on what I think of the variety of car boots I've visited, as well as my regular local one that I was visiting a lot more previously. So on the Sunday I went to the car boot. On the way to the car boot, no, tell a lie, sorry. On the way back from the car boot, I brought all my stock back and dropped it off at the hotel, and it was time to now go get food and head to my uncle and just relax and enjoy the last day of the football. Although, I can't lie, when I was coming through Manchester from Bolton Car Boot, because I had to jump on the train I got off at like Oxford Road and I had to walk to Piccadilly to then catch the train from Piccadilly back to Stockport with all the stock I've just purchased from the car boot. I saw so many Liverpool fans in Manchester Piccadilly with their Liverpool tops, and I was just feeling the excitement from them. It was like I was bubbling, and I phoned the missus and I said, "Baby, what do you think I should do? Like, should I go to my uncle because I planned it and he's talking about dominoes and I want to bust some dominoes and give a man a 6. But then it's the last game of the season. I don't know if I could get in. I never know. I could just find a way in. Like, I don't know, like, whether there's a ticket outside or whether there's just someone at the door that's just willing to take a little change for me to get in. I don't know. I was just thinking, do I take the risk? In the end, I decided, you know what? I didn't plan to go there on the Sunday. Just keep to the plan as I did. Go to my uncle's, chill with my uncle on the Sunday, enjoy the football, play some dominoes, and just take some time that I don't really do much recently, like family time, where I just take time to just relax and not focus on anything, but just relax. And it was quite good, I'd say, because I did have fun. I got to give him a 6. I did take some 6s, but my last game was a 6, love. So for me, I left on the high. So it was quite fun. But then let's go to the main event of the Sunday, funnily enough for me. So yes, I went to the car boot. Yes, I got to see my uncle. Yes, I gave some people some 6s there. But the thing for me on that day that was very uplifting for me was I actually, after I left the car boot, I had to go and jump on the train to get back to Manchester. For some unknown reason, even when I thought about it after, I never bought the ticket on my phone. I've decided to walk into the train station, and instead of buying it on my phone as I normally would, even though there's ticket machines there, I've decided to use the ticket machine. Like an idiot, I used the ticket machine, and for some reason this ticket machine has told me there's no tickets able to be printed for me, but it's took my money. So I'm a bit confused, scratching my head, like, wait a minute, I've just bought a ticket, the money's come out, and now it's telling me there's no ticket. So I had to go and spoke to the person at the barrier, and he says, go into the ticket office and you will be sorted out, because he can't help me with that because he's someone different. So I went into the ticket office. I was standing there for about 20 minutes. There was a couple of security men trying to deal with a couple of other passengers. as they were trying to work out how to get to their train and how to charge their phones. They were being very helpful for these two and helping them. And it was quite funny as well, like I'm just standing there listening for ages, like, because there was one person serving at this time, and he was serving another customer, and they were trying to buy tickets for multiple days or multiple journeys, and it was taking a certain period of time. Of course, it was taking up to these 10 to 15, 20 minutes of time for them to get through this. So it was getting a bit stressful for me, but I was just sitting there, standing there, shall I say. As I'm seeing people go to that machine, I'm running out to make sure no one else actually uses the machine, so the same thing doesn't happen to them, and running back in, standing here, waiting again. I'm listening to the conversation of the security officers, and I'm being very helpful even for the security officers, because the person that they were helping, they would come together, but one of them left alone, and he left and then he came back unsure of what platform he had to go on. As I said before, I'm very clued up with the trains and where to get to and how to get to one train station to another, what train it would be, even to what platforms in a lot of stations where I know you just can catch a train to there on that platform. I'm very clued up because I've travelled the train network a lot. So I was just answered him straight away, like, to help him out. He didn't want to really take my answer at first till he heard the security confirm my answer, but it was good enough for me because it's me trying to help, whether you accept the help or not, it's me trying to help. So obviously that's what I tried to do. Finally, I've seen someone else go into the computer. I've ran out again. As I was running out, a couple more people were coming into the ticket office, obviously, to get tickets. So I've stopped another people from going to use that machine and ran back in as the other passenger, the other customers leaving the desk. And the people who've just walked in have tried to, like, kind of, because they must have thought I've left, go to the till, but I've kind of said, excuse me, I've just run out to stop someone. Can I just sort out this, please? I said, okay. So I've asked the person behind the counter about my ticket. I've said, I've just paid for a ticket on that computer and no tickets come out. I've been told to speak to you. And I got a very blunt answer, to be honest. And it was like, well, mate, nothing we can do. You have to buy another ticket or you can't travel. I'm scratching my head thinking, wait a minute, what do you mean? I've just paid for my ticket and now I must pay for another and wait 5 days for a refund. There's no remorse here. There's no even said, let's have a look at the machine. There's no conversation tried to be made to help this situation. Just a blunt answer of, oh yeah, nothing I can do. You have to buy another ticket or don't pay. So I've got quite annoyed now, and I've kind of started putting my point across, like, so wait a minute, you're telling me if I've got no money and I've just paid with my last £6, whatever it was, for the ticket, and it's come out my account, I'm showing you it come out now, and the machine's told me it's not working, you're telling me now that I can't travel, so I must find another way somehow to get to where I've got to get to. I find that very rude. I find that very no customer service at all. Like, and then he seemed to not get, he's like, oh, no, there's nothing I can do, mate. There's nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. So I had to rephrase my point of angle, and I've had to explain, if I was a young child, even though I'm not, and I have just paid for my ticket and my money's come out, I have no more money and the machine is messed up, would you do this? Tell me the same thing of, sorry, young child, you can't travel? He said, no, obviously I can't do that because he's a young child, so we'd have to put him on the train. So I'm saying, I would like you to understand, you could have done that for me the same way you do that for the child. You don't know whether I have this extra £6 or not, or whether I can afford this. So you're telling me this. Up to this point, which is 3-4 days down the line now, I haven't actually received my refund from the Sunday, whatever, Wednesday, 3 days down the line. I haven't received my refund from this ticket. But that wasn't the issue, because at the end he kind of understood my angle and understood he was being a bit unfair with me. He didn't understand why I was running in and out until I explained to him I was trying to stop people from using the machine. So that's the only reason I ran in and out. I'm not running in and out like some madman or I'm running out to help people and trying to get back in so I don't miss you. Prior to this now, all of these conversations, this was our conversation we're trying to have. Yes, it was heated at the first, but then suddenly when I first started arguing with this person, someone came from around the corner talking about, you don't talk to my staff like that, and you know what, you should leave the train station, you shouldn't even be in here. I'm saying, because I was talking to a male person and this was a female person, I was quite confused, because my first thought was actually, wait a minute. I've just been standing here for 20 minutes and now you're hearing an issue, you're coming to try and help. And I was standing there for 20 minutes and you didn't want to help me or serve me. You just sat there doing what you was doing, knowing fully well that I am here. Yeah? Secondly, I am a male, he is a male. If we are getting louder and debatable or whatever, that's between me and him. For you as a female to involve yourself in a male conversation that is getting heated, that does not make no sense to me. Because if I'm going to get angry now, you're going to talk about I'm a female or I'm not supposed to raise my voice. And then it's also looking bad on me if we're arguing because you're a female. Whereas if it's two men having an argument, it may look bad on me, but I know I can stand my ground a lot more stronger against a man. And if it is to get loud and physical, it's male versus male. It's not a male and female and she's trying to throw her hands and grab, and it's not that. It's me and the man. We're having that discussion. So obviously she wasn't liking it. She was being very rude. She's being very arrogant, telling me about she don't see where a man is standing now. She doesn't understand what I'm on about. And all she knows is he's told me already there's nothing they can do. And if I have no money to leave the station. These times security have now come. Another member of staff has now come. And I'm just explaining my point and getting more aggressive and... getting more irate in the situation, because now, even when I'm talking to this man and saying, I'm not even talking to you, I've ignored her, and we're getting to this point of I'm explaining why I'm running in and out of the place, why I actually jumped in front of this woman and how long I was standing there, and explaining, how do you know I haven't got any more money, and explaining the kid. She just kept jumping in, trying to say, just leave, he's already told you. Whereas we're trying to, like, as men, yes, we got irate in the first because we're trying to prove our manly status. But in the end, we're reasonably understanding. Neither of us are trying to bring it to the level that we was at in the first place. So let's try find a medium where both of us are understanding of each other's situation and we can come to a conclusion. The security obviously then heard me being rude because I'm telling her to shut up. In ways now, because she's really interrupting when me and this person are trying to have our discussion, and we're not even in that type of tone, whereas she is still in that tone. So I left. The funny thing to this situation is, and this is why I say I wanted to do a little video on it, because there's a lot of like things that happen for a reason. So even for this happening, the funny thing is, the fact that I ran out a couple times to go and stop other people from using the machine made me actually go to the machine and find a single ticket. I found a single ticket in the thing because I stopped someone from using it. I was trying to get a return, but I found a single ticket. I paid for a return, but I found a single ticket because I was trying to help someone. So when I came back in now, I'm saying to them, I didn't even care. I just wanted to see what you would do to resolve the situation, because obviously I don't know if I need to fill in a form. I don't know if you're going to give me my return now. I don't know what's got to happen. I need to find out, do I need to contact the people on the machine by the phone to see about my refund? I don't know. I need to know. So obviously I'm going to ask you, but I don't need to let you know that I've just found a ticket because I'm trying to help someone. So you're arguing with me and I've actually got a ticket to go through. Yeah. First thing that was, because obviously I've got to get my refund. And if not, I will put in a report to get my refund even more. But I have to wait 5 days. It still hasn't come in 3 days. So I was told 3 to 5 days. We will see. But I left the station. I said, okay then. Security, I told them, I don't want to argue with you because she's come out with attitude and she's come out with attitude because he started with attitude and I was upset with the way I was taught to. I'm a customer who has paid, and if I hadn't paid, you would be on to me. So the fact I paid and my money's come out, I would like to be dealt with as a customer regardless of the way I look. Because if, as I said, if I was a young child or if I was an elderly person, would he have dealt with me like that? Did he think I'm some person on the roads and I've got loads of money to just splash on the trains? Because I'm not. Yeah? So he doesn't know me. So judging me and my situation and his attitude was off for me. So part one of my story. So part one of that now, I've used my ticket, I've gone to Manchester. I've had a whale of a time with my uncle, as I say. Liverpool didn't win, but we drew, but we didn't lose. I was excited, yeah. Upset that, because obviously I'm in Manchester and everyone in there playing dominoes in the house was Manchester United supporters. So unfortunately for me, it was a Manchester United versus Villa game. But then Villa were in contention for the Champions League. So it was quite exciting to see, especially with Villa down to 10 men for so long. Unfortunately, Villa didn't make the Champions League, but they were happy because Man U won. Yeah, so yeah, that's the fun of it. I had fun. I enjoyed my time. Yeah, I left. I'm going now to go to the hotel. And for me, as I say, these type of situations, argumentative and debatable and feeling like I have to prove myself in being legitimate or correct in my way, made me forget about this thing. I'm just coming back to the train station. I'm going to the hotel. I forgot about it. As I came to the train station now, the security officers called me, the two of them. When they called me, the first thing they came out with their mouths, they was like, we are sorry for what happened earlier. I was like, huh? I was a bit confused at first. Yeah? They said, we are sorry for what happened to you earlier. And the reason we are sorry for what happened, because she talked to you in a disrespectful way, and we do not agree with that. And in fact, you know what? We told them, we came back after. First of all, they said they tried to find me on the train station before I jumped on the train, but I'd already jumped on the train. They tried to run and catch me to apologise to me before I left. And the fact that I've come back to the train station, they actually got the chance to apologise to me, but they let me know what they actually done. They says to me, they have gone into the office, they have reported the woman for how she treated me and talked to me. They've made a complaint about her, and they want to give their formal apology to me themselves, because in that motion at the time, because I was being loud, certain of the things that I was saying was going over the head, even though what I'm saying is completely correct. Because they have to obviously protect their colleagues. But what they actually were, they're not just security, they're communities, relations or something, support. So they're not just there for the train people, they're there for actually the people in the train station as well to help, which is why I'm actually thinking of it now, why they were helping the two men for so long and it wasn't the train people around the train station. Just thinking of it now, yeah. So that was quite enlightening to me at first, because first of all I'm thinking, first of all, I'm thinking, you know what? First of all, I said, you know what? I gave them both a nice handshake and said, you know what? I respect both of them for it. It was one black man, one white man. And I said, I respect both of you because for one, you're a black man. So even in your role, for you to step out of line, it takes your heart to be able to defend another black person when they're in the right, instead of going with your colleagues because you don't want to lose your job or feel awkward in your job. Yeah, there's a lot of black people that would do that. There's a lot of black people that do that. Yeah, so you haven't lost your heart. You still recognize about yourself being a black man. Yeah, and recognizing that really I was being judged, whether it was I said it or not. I was being judged because I was black, and I was actually legitimately meant to be dealt with as a customer, which they never done. And she was talking in a way which, as they said, could have made me irate, could have made me want to fight and throw arms, which would have got me into trouble. Not her, because she's just using her vocal. My actions are my actions, which I've learned a lot about over the last few years. Yeah. So that happened, and they apologized to me. I shook their hand again and said, you know what, I respect both of you. And sorry, that's the black man's point of view. From the white person's point of view, that he was also being strong and respectful, because it's him not siding with the other white colleague and siding with the black male, which takes strength for him as well to do, because a lot of Caucasian people will side with the Caucasian even though they know the black man is actually right and correct and being misjudged. So for him as well to be able to have the heart and the understanding to take that upon himself, to go forward with that as well. Remember, I never asked them to make no formal complaint for me. I never asked them to apologise. I forgot about this. They took it upon themselves. They took it upon themselves to, again, apologise to me themselves, because they felt they didn't state how they really felt in the moment because of their jobs in the first. So you see how they were actually in the modes that they were, that I'm saying they took strength to come out of. The black man was just siding with the colleagues and the white man was just siding with his colleagues. But in the end, they took their strength together to understand we can't side with our colleagues on this one, actually. And we actually have to make a point of it as well. Whether that person wants to or not, we actually have to. So that was beautiful for me. Yeah, beautiful, because it gave me validation that, yes, I was right for getting upset. And secondly, give me validation because I acted correctly, even though I was loud and probably rude, definitely rude. Yeah, arrogant, yeah. Arrogant and cocky, because that's what if you come arrogant and cocky, I can be even more arrogant and cocky. Yeah. So that's what I gave. Yeah. So that was a positive. Yeah. Also, on the back of that, I came, what was it now? I came back to this was after, and then I came back to the train station after coming back from Liverpool. No, where did I come? I think I was in Manchester again, and I was coming back to the train station, yeah. And imagine this, yeah. I saw some, I actually saw a coloured male arguing with a train person in the Piccadilly station, and it was a woman and a black male he was arguing with, and it was the woman giving a lot more than the black male that was also the same member of staff as she was. Yeah, she's walked off. I've seen she's walked off. Security have gone. She's walked off. She's on her radio. More security have come. He's gone in one. Before he was the lad, I was laughing at it, thinking, oh, look at him, thinking he's the lad. Come like, oh, where is he? Come on, I'll get him. I'll get him. Come on, he's going. Yeah, so he's stormed down there now, because the guy was a big lad still, I can't lie. He was a good kind of little side on him, yeah. To be honest, so did the woman. And neither did the black guy, the black security. No. But I was just sitting on here waiting for my train, yeah. And as I was waiting for my train, I met a security man, black man. He was sitting next to me on the seat, yeah. And this is where I say I understood so much about my journey, because here we had on the flip side somewhat a situation where I could have just been judged and it could have just been left as I was the one acting out of the ordinary. In the fact I got apologised to, because it wasn't me acting out of the ordinary, it was the member of staff. I actually got some applaudits for them because they actually put reports in. And now I'm sitting here with a black man looking at another black man arguing with members of staff and trying to tell me that, he best just go. Because if he doesn't go, they're just going to call more people on him and the police, and it's just not going to go right for him. Like, he shouldn't have done what he had done to start off with, and he wouldn't have this problem. Huh? I'm scratching my head like, huh? Are you dumb? Like, honestly, that's what I thought when I looked at you. Like, are you dumb? Because how do you know what's even happened down there? He's like, he must have done something wrong for them all for her to be arguing with him. I'm saying, how do you know? He's like, I don't know. Like, it's true. I don't know. Like, but I just believe, like, if they're all coming to him, then he's obviously done something wrong. And I said, no. I said, that's the problem with our society. Even as a black man now, you're sitting here with me, looking at someone that we don't know what race he is, but we know he's not white. Yeah. And you're telling me from this far, just like me, that he's in the wrong. And I can't hear a word of what's going on. And neither can you. So how are you telling me that that black man down there is in the wrong? And he said, I don't know. And I said, you know what, let me tell you a story. I told him about my story that happened the day before, with how I could have been judged and he could have been standing there thinking, why is this black man raising his voice, moving his hands and shouting and being very stern in what he's saying? Why? He's in the wrong and he should just leave. And in fact, you know what? The security actually apologised to me and I told him this because I wasn't in the wrong. So how about that now? That could be him there, actually not in the wrong, but you're judging and going to actually make his situation worse because you're judging. And worst of all, you're also black. You're also black. You know what the man said to me? He gave me a little story because he was a bouncer, some African bouncer. He's from Ghana, or I think he was from Ghana. He said, yeah. He said to me, you know what happened to me last night or today? Yeah. Said to me, he was standing in the queue and he's doing his job. Obviously, he has to stop people from going across certain barriers. And there was a lady there with her friends trying to be across the barrier. He kept asking them to step back. They wouldn't step back. In the end, he had to kind of usher them back, he said. And when he ushered them back, he said, some lad shouted at him and said, "Oi, get your hand off her and stop trying to grab her up." And know what he said to me? Said to me that only happened to him because he was the black bouncer. He saw the white bouncers doing it. They weren't getting none of that. But for some reason, the man shouted at him as the black bouncer to not do that. And he said to me, that's him getting judged because he was black. And it seemed like he was probably doing the wrong. But he didn't realise, because he said afterwards he spoke to the person and made them aware that he's security and that's his job. And when he's asking someone not to do it and they're doing it and he's asked them multiple times, it's his job to force them away. Not drag them, but he has to do it in a certain way. So he's explained to them, and then the man's overstood him, he said afterwards. But it's quite funny that I says to him that you had that happen to you this morning on your last shift, and you're here judging another coloured, because I do know what he was afterwards. I'll point this out, yeah. I do know what he was afterwards because I'm very inquisitive, as I say. So I was sitting there watching the incident for a while, giving this man a lecture. Remember, I'm 36. This man was in his mid-50s. Should know better. Should be telling me this as a black man. Shouldn't be me as a 36-year-old man telling my elder who's 50-something. Yeah? So, as I'm more inquisitive, I obviously can't help but have to go and see what this situation is actually all about. And see, like, if I can even help, because police had actually arrived, like, and now it was the police talking to him. It was actually community support when I realised later. But still, yeah, they had someone there. So when I came down, I walked down there. Obviously, this man, he'd had enough of his lecture from me and said, oh, I've got to go to catch my train. All right, go. Yeah, it's time for me to go find out what's really going on. Because whereas you're going that way to not find out and not help as a security, I'm going this way to see what's going on and see if I could help. As I'm walking down there and I've stopped by the man, all I heard from the man was, which touched me, because these are things that I probably could have said many times in situations like this, is, I'm not telling you my name. And if you think I've done something wrong, it's best you arrest me now. Then you can find my name. But because I know I ain't done nothing wrong, I don't need to give you my name unless you're arresting me. And he was very clever. So in the first moment when I saw this incident, yes, he was on his feet, he was walking. They were shouting at each other as they were walking. Yeah, safe. When he realised everyone had, the security had started coming to him, this man sat down, put his bag down, and he just stayed seated in the chair. He never stood up once. And the reason he'd done that, because obviously, as a coloured man, he didn't want to seem threatening or in any type of way, especially because he was a big guy. So he had to sit down to make it known, I'm not trying to cause any threat to anyone. And in fact, I haven't caused a problem. I'm just putting my words across very strongly. And you may not like that because you think in your position of work, you're able to talk down to or disrespect someone in a certain way and they must take it. There's a lot of us that won't take it. I'm one of them. He was one of them. Yeah. So for him, he wasn't taking it, but he wasn't trying to be violent. He was just being strong and stern. Strong and right, not strong and wrong. Yeah? So he was sitting down. So when he's actually saying this to these three police officers, he's sitting there like this. And I was wondering why his hands are like that. But he was sitting there for ages like that. And when I walked up, I realised why he was like that. Because he's saying, I ain't done nothing. And if you want to arrest me for not telling you my name, you can do that. And when I heard that, and I'm already acknowledged the situation of why he's sitting down, there's no need me to help him because he's already helping himself. He's out playing the play. The play of get you angry, for you to react aggressively, for you to then be persecuted for acting aggressively, not for being upset. Because remember, when you act aggressively now, whatever happened before is irrelevant. Yeah? You've acted out in a way. And that's how they approach it. Yeah? So, well done to him. And well done to the two security guys. Because they made my weekend feel so special. Yeah? Now we get to the Monday. Now the Monday was the day of the champions. And it ended in the day of one idiot. And for me, after looking today, an hour ago, there were 79 people that have been down as injured from this one crazy idiot that decided, as I was there, I know how the roads were. A lot of the roads were locked off, yeah? And only a couple roads were open and they weren't for the public use, yeah? So the road that he actually drove down, no cars I'd seen drive down that road for like the 7 hours I was there. But he was driving down that road. Why was he driving down that road? We do not know. We do not know. And unfortunately, him driving down that road has caused 79 people to be injured. And my thoughts are with those 79 people and their family, because for me, this was one of actually my most memorable days in my life, like of 36 years of age. And I'm not someone that is when I say I'm not someone that hasn't ventured. So I've done a lot of variety of things up and down the country. I have only been out of the country twice, but even when I went out of the country twice, I've done a variety of things. So for me, a lot of experiences, and also something I didn't say, I'd done this journey all on myself. I knew my partner and the little one wouldn't enjoy the hustle and the bustle of how many people were expected. So it was kind of hard for me to let them come, because I know they wouldn't have liked it, especially when we were hearing how the kids were, and a few kids, like, you know what I'm trying to say, got injured in this incident. It's like, brings a downer to everything, to be extremely honest. But then, if I think about before that news, it was one of the best nights of my life, and I went on my own. Like, I've never been, like, I've said on my previous videos, I may have gone to a lot of cities before to keep out when I didn't have somewhere to stay, and try to find women and little things and do what I was doing. But I only went in a club if someone brought me in. Like, I never just went in a club and just said, yeah, I'm standing up, or go and meet a pub, people in the pub and chilling. I'd meet someone outside, and then they'd say they're going here, and I'd say I'm coming, or they'd tell me I'm coming, and I'd end up in there. So for me now, to go to this place, to Liverpool, where I have been many times, so I know myself, I know my way around, and I do know a lot of people there, funnily enough. But for me to go there and just take this in for myself, and what I took in was, I've never seen Liverpool like that in my life, and I've never seen anything like that in my life. And I said to my partner, like, I've been to so many of the carnivals up and down the country, and I've never seen so many people in one place in my life, like, never. Like, it was so many people, all for Liverpool. Everyone got red. It was crazy. Like, and the spirit of everybody there was just joyous. Like, for me, I don't think I could take it in as much. Like, I took it in when I got there. I took it in when I vibes. I took it in when the bus came past, and I got to see Salah and the cup and everything. But I only think I took it in after I really acknowledged what I've just been at. Because for me, I got there quite early. I tried to get there. I did plan to go on the coach and the bus, but then I did book my tickets, but I ended up doing the train, and I got there about 1 o'clock, I think it was, and left about 7. So I was there for a long time still, wandering around, up and down the parade, up and down around the town, feeling the vibes in so many sections. And everywhere I went, everyone was just loving life, and everyone was bouncing. And, you know, like, for me, keeping it real, like, in carnival, man, have to mind who's nudging, man, and you have to mind, like, yo, you have to mind, like, people try and nudge you and cause a problem because a man's nudged you or something. None of that was there. Like, everybody's letting everyone go. Like, I had to help an old lady out. I was telling the miss, I had to help an old lady out by the train station over the barrier. And it was like the one man was over that side and I was over this side, and we had to lift her up and get her over because she was having a panic attack, like, in the crowd, because it was just so many people. And then we had to help the husband over. But those are the things that we were seeing throughout the day. Like, that was me at the end of the day. Like, but there's so many people helping each other to do things and seeing if everyone's all right, and just cheering and saying hello and singing songs and all cultures just together. Like, it was so beautiful. Like, and like, you know, when the whole city was completely ram-packed, you realise, like, you'll look at my shorts, you'll see, like, the city was jam-packed and it was all good vibes. So for us to end with that one idiot, because I'll say idiot because I can't even blame what was going on that made him either do it on purpose or do it accidentally and speed into these people. All I can blame him for is the fact of he decided to go down that road. And the fact he decided to go down a road that was completely closed off to the public and to every car has caused this issue and has changed, for me, as I say, one of the best moments in my life, yeah, to a little bit of sour, because I'll always remember one of these best days with such a sad ending. And I could have been there, like I was saying to the missus, like, I walked down those roads to get back. Like, I could have been in that crowd. I would have been going crazy as well if I was in that car. But that's irrelevant, like, it's mad. So yeah, it was an enjoyable weekend. And like, I learned a lot. Like, I learned that there is good people out there, like, in jobs. They were just normal people who can think out of the box and see things as they are and not just for their colour of their skin, their uniform, anything, their wage brackets, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're just going to do good regardless. It was good for that. It was good because I got to teach a big man to me how he shouldn't judge and made him actually realise how he did misjudge. I got to actually spend time with family, and even I've done a lot of social with my family locally here, mothers and father, actually. One father, my stepfather, my father, yeah. But other than that, it's just been the immediate family, like me and the partner and the kids. So for me to actually do something with family that was sociable and chill, I actually enjoyed that as well. Like, it's a long time since I got to beat some dominoes. It's a long time since I just got to chill around lads even and just chill. So I enjoyed that as well. It kind of brought me back to me. Also enjoyed going to a different car boot and actually got probably one of my favourite purchases from a car boot. I'm going to definitely put it in my top 5, guaranteed. Maybe first, I'm not too sure. I'd have to look over the history of the last 4 or 5 years. But it's definitely in my top 5 of best buys from a car boot. So I had that experience as well. I had an experience then of actually enjoying a night on my own in Liverpool with fans that, just like me, probably like a lot of them like me, have just been waiting for us to win this Premiership. And yes, we know we ran it in 2020. We know this. But that wasn't us. That was COVID. That was a time when we couldn't go and celebrate. This was the first time we got to celebrate. And it's as you see, it's as. So yeah, thank you for joining SJ Cartier Limited Convos. And yeah, come on you Reds. Champion is ole, ole. SJ Cartier Limited Convos. Have a good day.